Welcome, everyone. You're watching Valley Homes on TV. I'm Debbie Giordano, along with my co-host, Todd Flesner. Hello there.
Hey, Deb. How's it going today?
Hey, really good, really good. Do you know we're still on Channel 26? We air on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m.
Set your DVR.
Yes, set your DVR. Well, you invited a guest here today. Would you like to introduce?
I certainly would. I'm really actually delighted to have Mark Doyle join us. A lot of folks who have kids around town may recognize Mark. He's not in uniform today. He normally is wearing a uniform. He's a police officer here in town and works a lot with our youth. And we'll get into a little bit more of that here later. But also he's been recognized recently for a lot of his efforts, both on the job and in his private life, as the Schwab Award winner for the city of Milpitas, the Employee of the Year for the city. And so we'll talk with him a little bit about that. But Mark, hey, it's great to have you with us here today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, and
Thanks
you for hosting.
Taking the time out for when you're out there hunting down those bad guys, at least come in here and talk to us. You look like a nice guy to me. So let's tell us about, start with your background. You kind of shared that with me a little earlier, where you went to schools around here. And
Well, I grew up locally. I didn't have the honor of growing up in Milpitas, per se, with my house, but I spent a lot of time here as a kid. I grew up in the Berryessa area of San Jose, and went to Toyon Elementary School and Piedmont Middle School, and went to Independence. So I grew up just over the border, and much of my time as I grew up, I spent here in Milpitas at Golfland or Calsgate, or a long time ago, a place called Splashdown Water Slides, which was used to be right along 680. So that was the water slide for the area. So and then the movie theaters. So.
Right.
So I spent a lot of time here in Milpitas and in San Jose and on the north side. And
were you born here or born?
I was actually born technically in San Mateo, but came to San Jose when
California.
I was 2.
California
so absolutely, yeah.
So you know this area well.
I do.
You do.
I do.
So you grew up here. You're familiar with the area, but your path went into law enforcement. Tell us a little bit about how you got interested in law enforcement and, ultimately on the police force here in Milpitas.
Alrighty. I was real involved in high school with theater and school and youth groups and stuff like that at my local church, and I had the honor of meeting a young woman who was just getting involved with the San Jose Police Department at the time, and she was excited about it and basically created this curiosity. So, well, what is this all about? I knew I wanted to be out and about, and I intended to be someone who was a little more charismatic or kinesthetic in my ways. So I really didn't imagine me wanting a job where I was going to be sitting behind a desk doing desk work. So the whole idea of thought of going out and being a police officer was kind of cool. So I asked questions about that.
How old were you at that time when you?
Well, I would have been about a sophomore or junior in high school. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so that sparked the interest then, and then when I went to San Jose State later on after I graduated, I didn't want to be one of those people that had no major. I felt like that would be a problem, so I had to declare something. I don't know why I felt that way, but I did. So I said, well, criminal justice administration sounds kind of interesting. So I got in there and got and
then dug deeper. Huh?
I dug deeper. I met some great instructors at San Jose State who just sparked the interest and got. The classes were wonderful.
I do understand. I mean, that is a great school. There's been a lot of officers in the area that have come out of that.
Absolutely.
That program there at San Jose
Absolutely.
State. So it's definitely a good one.
It's wonderful.
So now, how long have you been on the force here in Milpitas?
Just over 20 years.
Okay.
So I got hired in July 1st of 92, and actually got hired before I technically graduated, so that was perfect.
That's nice.
It was very relief.
Your entire time as a police officer has been here in our city.
Absolutely. So
interesting. So what do you like about that? What do you like about being?
Being in Milpitas?
Milpitas.
It's a wonderful community. For starters, for years, both the community and the politicians and all of the workers have done just a marvelous job of keeping the pride. And it's become a big city, but there's still that little taste of small town closeness that's there with all the connections with the families, etc. The traditions, and just just the heart, I guess, where people come from, and then a lot of pride as far as taking care of your neighborhoods and taking care of the parks, et cetera. It's just a wonderful place for people to live and work and to grow up in for kids.
Great. Well, now you've had a number of different roles within the police department as well. The old DARE program, I've known you through that program for a number of years, and my kids have all gone through that. And now I guess the character counts. And what other sort of roles have you had during your 20 years in the police force?
It's been fun. I started off as an elementary DARE officer, and I did that for a year, and then we were able to expand and have the middle school DARE program for a few years.
Oh.
So I was one of the first officers to go into the middle school and hit the 8th graders up 3 years after they had DARE in 5th grade, and kind of do a little refresher course, and then work as a school resource officer with the 7th and 8th graders, where you're going through all the changes, et cetera, and just be a wonderful support for them and their families. That was really fun. And then other things I've done, I've been a bicycle officer for years, so I'm riding through the parks and the back roads and the creeks, et cetera.
Wow, get a little exercise and you're on the job.
A little exercise,
so
and you get to
cool.
know the backside of Milpitas. There are a few people who know that too. I run into them occasionally. Make sure they're not up to bad things. So I've done that. I'm involved with peer support for the department. I'm one of the hostage negotiators now for the department. I'm in charge of first aid training and stuff like that for the department. So as far as being an active role and keeping our officers trained in our first responder responsibilities.
All right. Well, Mark, I went to an awards ceremony recently, a few weeks ago, and you were a very humble man. You were given an award called the Gene Schwab Employee Award. Why don't you tell the folks what that is? What does that mean to you?
Well, Gene Schwab was an amazing man who was so very committed and dedicated to the service of the city and service beyond self. And for how many years has it been?
Like 18 years?
18 years.
Mm-hmm.
I actually worked under Gene when I told you I worked here in the city.
Oh, no kidding.
He actually was my boss.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's quite an honor.
So basically, I've been recognized by my peers, and then the police administration.
I believe you're nominated. The nomination
Correct.
comes from internally within
I was
the department.
nominated by my peers in the department, and then that nomination goes forward by the chief, and then basically it's, from what I understand, a board of former recipients
Correct. That's right.
come together and they pick the employee basically of the year from the different departments. And I had the honor of being...
There's a screening process.
There is a screening process.
And you didn't even know to do anything about it, huh?
I was, so because of that screening process, that's why I was completely surprised. Really, so... But no, it's an amazing honor, and the Rotary does a wonderful job of sponsoring that award, and just a wonderful luncheon with just a whole bunch of people coming to say thanks, and it kind of floored.
And your family was there.
And my family
too.
was there too. So, but it just kind of floored me. I enjoy my work. I put my heart into it. I have fun. And to get a word for that was just it was kind of awkward. I'm not beyond, and I've been seen in public a few times with DARE celebrations and character count celebrations with the 5th graders, etc. But having everybody looking at you and you being the recipient is a lot different than honoring kids or honoring this person. Hey, and so I said I was a little uncomfortable in that spot. So.
Well, it's well deserved, and recognize you not only for your work as a police officer, but also going above and beyond in the community as well. So maybe talk folks a little bit about some of the work that you do outside of the police force. I know you volunteer with your kids and your family, and support the community in a number of different ways.
I try to do that kind of countywide.
Uh-huh.
Here in Milpitas, I've been involved in volunteer work with. I'm not a Rotarian, but I have gone up for fishing in the city, which is a wonderful event that the Rotary helped sponsor, and working with that. I'm also involved with 4-H, the University of California Cooperative Extension. They have a program that's designed to help with kids and everything from animal husbandry. People are familiar with the kids in the green and the white at the fair, but there's also all kinds of things as far as leadership programs, et cetera. I've been involved with that for the past several years throughout the county. I'm also involved with helping out with leading shooting sports programs with kids learning how to shoot rifles, and I'm currently leading an archery project here for the county for kids everywhere from Milpitas all the way down to Gilroy.
Well, that certainly is good modeling for your family and your children to be able to be
But
involved.
I think you
like
left out the ballet.
Is that, was I reading that right, Todd? Did you have ballet down?
I am also involved with the San Jose Youth Ballet. I do not wear a tutu. I would not want to see me in a tutu. I will never be seen in a tutu. But my kid, actually, five out of my 6 kids dance and with the company Dance Theater International that is the parent, basically, studio for San Jose Youth Ballet, which is a nonprofit. They put on a Nutcracker production every year, and I volunteer with San Jose Youth Ballet with everything from helping to take care of the dance floors and the tape, basically put the floors together, and moving props and helping with the stage. And I've been on stage as a bit part as well, so which is fun to perform with the kids.
Interesting.
Yep.
So you have, it's 6 children?
I have 6 kids.
Their ages? That's
You catch me off guard here.
They catch you off guard.
Because they keep having birthdays.
Yeah, they do. They do.
It was 6. You got to keep track. So I have a 17-year-old daughter. I have a 13-year-old daughter. I have a 10-year-old daughter. I have an 8-year-old son. I have a 5-year-old daughter, and I have a 4-year-old son.
Wow.
So
wow.
we're
Okay.
busy.
You're busy. You're a parent. What advice do you give to other parents, maybe as a police officer or as your own family, as a father? What can parents do to help their youth today? What do you see?
Be involved, be connected. It's very difficult for many families, whether, unfortunately, there's a lot of people with broken homes, and it puts you at a disadvantage. So if a child has a mom and a dad and they're not actively part of the same family, make sure that's still a team. You have to work together as a team so that you have that dual support for that kid, and they're getting that. Parents really need to be in touch with their kids and who their kids' friends are and who their parents are. There's a big disconnect. We are at a disadvantage when we've got moms and dads both working and going both ways and trying to keep up with things, et cetera, and our own plans and this and that and the other. But to stay connected with our kids and who our kids' friends are, their names, their phone numbers, who their parents are, and stay in connection with them, that really closes the gap and creates a parent network so that the kids aren't being unsupervised and experimenting with things, etc. Plus, keeping open communication.
Great.
If something comes up, use that opportunity. I mean, teachers talk about a teachable moment, or a parent talk about a teachable moment. Right. If something weird happens or something tragic happens, touch base with that kid, bring it up, see what they're talking about, and have a conversation. Don't try to hide it or ignore it, because there is an awareness, especially with technology the way it is now. The kids are exposed to so much. You can't hide them. You can't keep them in a little box. We try, but there is the exposure, and you can control. It's important to try to control how they take that in and be there as a support.
Wonderful.
Oh, good.
Great advice. Thank you.
Great advice to folks. And, in Milpitas, we're fortunate. We have a lot of support in the community as well with youth programs and other sort of activities that are here for families as well.
Absolutely. We got stuff coming up in the summer.
we
So we do. I'm also involved with the Junior Giants program through
okay.
Milpitas PAL. So, that's available for everyone, from kids from four and up. So a little T-ball league, and so if kids are involved with that, they can get a hold of me, and basically we work with the Giants Community Fund and having kids get involved with that.
Terrific. So good. So, I mean, you're a busy guy.
I am. I am.
But what sort of other goals or aspirations do you have?
Well, I've been here for 20 years.
Yeah.
I plan on staying for a full 30. I do enjoy working with kids. We've had the honor of having the special programs in the school, and that's been a joy for me. What I've done, I've now gone back to patrol. And what I'm able to do is to touch people's lives on a call-to-call basis. And in my activities with 4-H or Junior Giants or, with the ballet, et cetera. So I take those lessons that I've learned and what I've seen the kids go through or when I see the struggles, et cetera, and I have a chance to just touch people. We're all encouraged to look for those opportunities where we make a difference. And I've found that a minute here or a minute there really can change somebody's perspective or get them to think or get them to commit to maybe being a little closer to a family member or taking on something, encouraging them when they're down, et cetera, turning that around. And my aspiration is just to be able to do that. And then hopefully over the next 10 years of my career, be able to share what I've learned, the experience I have, the knowledge that I have, and pass it on to the other officers that I work with. We're going to have a big turnover in the next 2-3 years. We already have had. So that we can continue to provide that full service and enlighten people who are struggling and let them know about the different support programs that are out there and give people some encouragement, et cetera, to do the right thing.
Mark, I can see what an asset you are just talking to you today, what you do in the police department and as a role model for our police officers also. So I want to commend you and thank you for what you do there. And Todd and I are so appreciative to have you be part of that Gene Schwab Memorial event and give the award.
Absolutely.
So, and we want to thank you so much for coming today and sharing your story and who you are. And you can take home a Valley Homes on TV t-shirt when you're out there with your Junior Giants. You know what we can do? When is the sign-ups for the Junior Giants?
We'll start the sign-ups April and May. So
maybe Elrin can put that on the screen. Anybody that wants to sign up, they will have that contact information.
That would be great.
We can plug that. So take that home with you.
Thank you.
We want to thank you very much for coming
Thank
and
you, Debbie,
sharing
very much.
yourself with us today.
Thank you much, Mark. Yeah, we
Thank
appreciate
you.
it, and congratulations again.
Thank
It's
you,
an
sir.
honor that's well deserved.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Through the years, trends and styles may come and go, but the important things remain the same. Generation after generation, consistently there, creating moments and memories to last a lifetime. Like a true friend, the national parks have always been there for you, and now you can be there for them. Support the National Park Foundation and help protect America's treasured places.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Valley Homes on TV. I'm Debbie Giordano, and we're here with Todd, and you've got a new company name, huh?
Yeah, I'm with Guarantee Mortgage now. I've been with Stern Mortgage, a branch of Guarantee Mortgage, for a number of years, and so now it's just Guarantee Mortgage.
Oh, nice.
And I've moved my office to Saratoga, so I'm a little bit closer to the Milpitas area now.
Nice.
In terms of my office location. So yeah, it's a nice change. New year, some new things
Great.
on the horizon.
Well, I wish you lots of success, and I know you're one of the best in the industry, so you'll do very well.
Well, I appreciate that, and a lot of success and best wishes to you for the new year, and to folks as well who are tuning in.
That's right.
Good New Year wishes to folks.
And Lunar New Year. We just passed the Lunar New Year, the Year of the Snake.
We did, and so we have Super Bowl behind us, which
Yes.
is usually a big time in the real estate industry.
That's the target. I tell my clients that they look at that as a benchmark, and that's when usually real estate takes off. But I'm going to ask you to share with folks where we are with market conditions and the
Sure.
economy in general. You have some interesting stats, I'm sure.
Yeah, I do. I'd like to share with people kind of where is the mortgage market headed here, or likely to be headed in the future. And we just got some minutes out from the Federal Reserve Board, their most recent meeting on January 3rd. And the outlook there, the Fed officials are divided right now on the Fed's mortgage-backed securities purchase program. And that's gone by a couple different names, Operation Twist, QE3, QE2. So you've heard those sort of names in the news. But basically the Federal Reserve buying mortgage-backed securities, and that's what's really led us to this ultra-low interest rate environment that we're in. So they stated that the program is going to continue until they see substantial improvement in the labor market, and specifically, they're going to look for the unemployment rate to dip to 6.5%.
So does this program make it easier for borrowers to qualify? Or?
No, it lowers the interest rates.
Okay.
So supply and demand. The federal government is a purchaser of mortgage-backed securities.
Okay.
All right. So they're really creating a demand, a heavier demand, which means the price will, or the rate or yield is going to drop on a mortgage bond. So, rates are a little bit artificially low because of that at this point in time. So 6.5% is their target for unemployment, or until such time that inflation gets to 2.5%. So those are the two benchmarks.
We know gas is getting there, don't we?
Well, we do. Yeah, gas prices have been really going up.
Is that
here.
a leader of the inflation?
It can be, yeah, it can be a leader of inflation because it costs money to move goods and services, and that really does work its way through the economy. The official number for inflation doesn't include all of the expenses. It strips out some things that are pretty volatile, like food prices, out of the inflation figure. Yeah, so it's not quite as volatile with the official number, but and I see
folks see that at home. I mean, we
absolutely.
The food prices and all the other prices that go to raising a family. I mean, that's right there.
Well, and so it takes more money for those essentials, which means that there's less discretionary spending, which really is an overall drag on the economy.
I got it.
And so it's a indicator of where things may be headed. So we'll watch that, watch the inflation numbers and the unemployment numbers, and that's going to give us some idea of what the Fed's going to do. So. But according to the minutes as well, there's a little bit of division within the Federal Reserve Board about what the future and what the risks are that are associated with this mortgage-backed securities purchase program. And so some of them are suggesting that the Fed might start to exit that before the economy and the labor market really fully recovers. So we're going to keep an eye on the Fed minutes, see what the Fed is thinking.
Now this is something you can report in the next few months?
Absolutely. We
That'd
can
be
watch
great.
to see
We'll
how the Fed responds to things and what their minutes say. And recently we've started to see interest rates kind of tick up a little bit. We're not at our absolute lowest ever.
Right, I noticed that. You send me the weekly updates, and I've noticed it's
rates
gone
are
up
still fabulous. We're still in the threes, but about 0.25% or so higher than the all-time low. Still great rates.
Okay.
And along with that, we're seeing increased activity, I think, in the real estate market.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
not only that, let me share with you, Milpitas has been in the news.
Okay.
I've got an article here, San Jose Mercury News, talks about condo craze. And guess where this is at? Right in the heart of Milpitas. People are lined up taking numbers, and they're doing a lottery system to get into these condos, if you can believe that, right here in the heart of Milpitas. And what's really telling is yesterday's San Jose Mercury in the business section, pre-crash home prices are back. So remember over the few years we talked about that underwater thing, which
Correct.
is where a person owes more money than the value of their home, so they're basically underwater. Well, now in the majority of the homes, they're above water, or their equity has now exceeded their mortgages. So that's really good news. That's the recovery of the market.
That is, and more and more folks I'm seeing are starting to take advantage of the fact that the equity is coming back into properties. I'm seeing them now really taking a look seriously at refinancing, take advantage of the low interest rates.
Thinking they could maybe try to sell 2 or 3 years ago. They're coming back into the market, but we still have low inventory. And Todd, that's what's happening with the numbers. Let me give you some real quick numbers. I have 2 months to report. Let's look at December. December of 2011, we were looking at $563,000 for an average price home. And that booted all the way up in December of 2012 to $711,000. Wow. I know. And the condos went from $274,000 in December 2011 to $344,000 in December of 2012. And then I have the stats here now in January 2013, which is kind of interesting. The numbers shift a little bit. The average home price is $586,000. Okay, you know, again, it's the way that it's calculated. It can be a little volatile depending upon how many homes are on the market and at what price range, but it's still up. And what's interesting is that condo craze that we talked about. Condos reached $401,000 in January.
So the condos market is really, really hot.
Because of that affordability index,
Right.
people can, it's cheaper to buy a condo than to go out and pay rent, at least today. That
Right.
could change in the future. Some people are saying we have a bubble in the market. I don't think so. I think we've recovered. I think we've seen a tremendous increase just lately, but I think that might be leveling off throughout the year.
Well, I know in my business I'm doing a lot of pre-approvals. People are making a lot of
offers.
offers, multiple offers, and a small percentage of those offers are being accepted.
So you're working hard.
I am.
And so are those buyers and those agents too.
And
Yeah.
I'm sure you're probably seeing it in foot traffic through open houses.
Oh, absolutely. Weekend after weekend, just 50, 60, 70 people through, which I wouldn't typically see ever, and have all come back. And again, they're all fighting for the properties and making overbids. So making my job a little bit easier. I'm kind of loving it.
Well, so there's some good news with the low interest rates, and it is competitive to get a home, but you can still get a good loan, great loan, and there enough homes out there in the market that folks can be bidding on them, although it is competitive.
It is competitive. Well, I guess we will close for now. We just taped a show. By the time this airs, we've been out in Spring Valley at the Volunteer Fire Department, which I'm sure that's going to be fun. And then that was Mark Doyle that we had interviewed, who was our Gene Schwab Employee of the Year, and that was fun.
Yeah, we enjoy getting a chance to meet folks from around town, and Mark is really somebody that folks need to know, who works and does a great job for us here in Milpitas.
Well, do you have a new phone number or contact information?
Phone number is the same, 408-921-0669.
Okay.
Email has changed. It's tflesner@gmwest.com. If folks have the old email address, it gets forwarded to me, so I still get those. So.
Great, and my email is giordanodj@aol.com. That hasn't changed. So we will see everybody. Next month, the weather's getting nicer. We'll be out and about, and you might see us around town.
All right. Well, until then, have a good day.
Thank you.